Well, I'm back up at Kyle's Hack Shack. Came up here to help him do a couple things. He got a cool new toy. It's actually how to measure wheel offset to determine tire size. That's always a big thing with dealing with any cars. Sometimes it's a crapshoot. Sometimes it's asking other people or even going to a shop. But they do make a tool with it. Kyle's learned how to use it. He's actually measuring for wheels and tires for the big bad green machine. I think, aren't you going with Mickey Thompson tires?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it's based on availability, and it seems to be Mickey's are what readily available compared to like Race Masters or some of the other options out there. So
Kind of the same problem I ran into, availability. He's got a lot of torque in this car, so he wants this thing to hook, not spin a whole lot. So you know what we're going to do is we're going to see how he does this. I'm kind of interested in seeing this myself. I've heard about being done, so let me get it set up here. And what I'll do is I'll give that to you, Kyle. Make sure that green little button's on. Who makes this tool?
oh gosh, I don't know. There's a guy. It's out of Canada. It's one of the top videos that popped up when I did wheel alignment. He had several tools out there that for car stuff. So this one actually shipped from Canada. I think it was around $100. It's pretty easy to use, but I'll tell you, from just using this tool, they certainly have their limitations. For example, this one, you set your rim height here, and that's going to give you an idea as you spin it, your clearance. You set your wheel widths here. You got some numbers from 6-inch all the way to a 12-inch, and then you have some numbers here for your offset. But basically, you measure, from where the rim's going to sit to this line right here, and that's, you can set your offset that way. So we're playing around with it tonight to see, what we want to go with. The thing about wheels, a lot of times when you're ordering wheels, you might be getting in a situation where they're not returnable. So measure twice and order once. I'll tell you, the forums are a great place, especially something like a GTO. Maybe not a Thunderbird as much, but a GTO that's been done many, many times. Guys will tell you, here's what fits. Here's what you can use. A lot of them have pictures out there. But I'll tell you, a lot of people also are, doing more resto mods. They're doing taller tires, 17s, 20s, and et cetera. And those are going to fit differently than maybe a 15 that, kind of bubbles outside the wheel like this here. It's got a taller sidewall profile. So, it's not like the modern tires that, come up an inch from the rim and don't really bubble out. The section width changes on this. It's usually not uncommon to be wider than the rim. So we're playing with that and seeing what kind of offsets, gives us for spacing. I mentioned that the tool has its limitations, and here, one of those limitations is, for instance, I get an idea where the wheel's going to fit, and I kind of can see things, but some of the things that it doesn't tell me because the tire's not there is, okay, as you spin this around, is it going to hit my exhaust? Is it going to hit, certain areas of the wheel well where maybe it protrudes out from the frame or kind of protrudes out from the trunk? Now, you can take rough measurements, but a lot of times you're not going to know for sure until, until you actually put it on there and test it out. So I had Jeff bring one of his wheels over, and we were able, it's not quite the same bolt pattern, but at least throwing it up there, seeing a tire of very, very similar size, gives you a little more comfort than just going by maybe this tool, trying to measure off the tool, maybe setting a 2x or whatever to try to create that tire measurement, gets you a much better idea of where everything sits. So that's what we're playing around with today. I'm kind of torn between a 10-inch wheel, width wheel, and an 8-inch width wheel, and there's pros and cons to both, right? A 10-inch is pretty much going to be, right off the bat, I'm going to be committed to larger tires that will fit that. So much tighter tolerances, as to where the 8-inch wheel, you can go up to a 275. You might even be able to go up to a 295 60/15 on an 8-inch wheel. Of course, it's going to shrink the footprint a little bit because it's pulling the tire in. But you can go that big on an 8. So, and then you can still do the 275, which, if nothing else, 275 is a great size, and that's probably what I would go with. So that's kind of what we have today. Like I said, pros and cons. If I go with the 10, the one that I have has limitations with back spacing and what I can get. So it would require using a spacer, as to where if I went with the 8-inch, no spacer, good to go, put the tires on that fit. But I can't add a spacer at that point to get the width that I want. So whatever that 8-inch lands at, because it's an 8-inch wheel is going to come with 4.5-inch backspace. There's nothing I can do to bring it closer to the frame at that point because they've already determined that backspace for us. As to where the 10-inch that I was looking at, it comes with a little more than a 7.5-inch backspace, which means I would need a spacer, and I could set that perfectly in there. Just requires a little more work to get that done. And then, like I said, maybe the con to that is I'm committing to wider wheels that give me tighter tolerances. You know, might have to trim some of the lip here or roll it, or whatever we decide is best.
My problem is right here on mine. I don't have a whole lot of room between the tire and here. It's like two fingers maybe. And I took a crapshoot, Kyle. I just ordered 0 offset wheels, and I got lucky.
Yeah.
And I got lucky. Not everyone wants to do that. That's a bad thing to do. But with that, show us how this works, Kyle.
What you want me to do here?
Like with your different measurements, how you're, how you got it set up right now.
Oh, I got you. Yeah. So where'd the tape measure go? Here it is. Okay, I'm actually not using the tool properly right now, but there's many ways to do it. I have it kind of situated so I don't want it out to the edge here because it's going to hit the frame sooner. But I have the outsides of these red stoppers simulating a 10-inch wheel, okay? And I have my offset measuring also from the top here out to where this bar runs flat with the hub or with the disc. I've got it set at 7.5. So that shows me where this wheel would sit with 0 offset. Pretty much, you can see it's pretty much right against the frame here. So we know a 0 offset wouldn't work. But what I can do from there, I can go, okay, I can, with this tightened down, and like I said, it's pushing against the frame there. I'm going to put a couple lugs on it. What that does is it gives me a solid point right here. I'm going to hold this ruler right against that. I take my tape measure over to it. I can see I have a solid 2 3/4 inches before it hits the lip here. So, splitting the difference, if I wanted to center that wheel, I could probably, a little less than 1.5 inch spacer, somewhere between 1 1/4 and 1.5 inches to center that wheel. And, that kind of gives you an idea where things would fit. Then beyond that, it's deciding what to order.
That's the hard part.
That is the hard part. There's so many options. And
I'm Marshall, and Kyle led me to this, but the wheel sitting next to him, the good old classic American Racing Torque Thrust Ds. I love them a lot.
Strong, light, affordable.
Yeah.
Probably one of the most, recognizable and iconic wheels from way back when.
If you want to go to something really old school looking, Eddie's got his Camaro, his Chevelle over here, and he's got the steel wheels with power caps on a 72 SS. That actually looks really good on this car. I know, Kyle, aren't you going to go for more of like a race wheel because they're pretty solid?
Yeah, so I kind of like a little bit modern, but a little bit classic, and I still like a muscle car look. So something with all those themes in mind, sticking with a 15-inch wheel. I would be You know what? I'd be interested to what others' thoughts are on, obviously I recognize the advantage to going with a 10-inch is the biggest probably advantage is flattening that footprint, when you're going above a 275, which I really don't think I would go much above that. So that would be that benefit is, I don't think the wheel that I'm looking at with the big offset, it's not going to, I also like the deep dish look when the, makes the wheel look bigger, but with the offset I'm looking at, I'm not going to get that kind of advantage. So just trying to decide whether I would go with the 8-inch, and I could still go up to, like I said, probably up to a 295, 50 series, and obviously the 275 fits that real good. So just trying to decide between those two, and that's what we're playing around with. But I'd be interested to know what others think. Maybe I'm sure others have been down the same path, the same dilemma that we're talking about, Jeff. So I'd love some input.
Yeah, so I tell you what, why don't we do this? Why don't we do this? Kyle showed us how to use the tool. He knows what size he's going to go with. He has an idea what kind of wheels. I already got mine. I like them. Kyle's, his touch of modern, touch of classic look. Throw in the comments what you think he should buy. And if you can buy them for us, that'd be even better. No, just throw in the comments what do you think and all that, and we'll go from there. But, this is another thing is I took an absolute stab in the dark at my wheels. It's a huge wheel well. I got away with it. You can't always do that. So, yes, having the right tool does pay off. It'll save you money, mistakes, especially in today's world of availability. So, yeah, always good to have that. Kyle, you're going on vacation, and pretty soon he's going to have wheels and tires on this thing that'll hook, so the Big Green Machine can go tear it up in Sikeston. See you later.
Thanks.